17 years of the Glazer ownership has not been great for Manchester United, particularly because they bought the club on a leverage buyout and they've never yet put a single penny into the club. They've only taken money out of the club through payments in kind, through listing on the stock market and taking dividend payments out. Yes, they could point to spending over £1 billion on players, but they haven't taken the strategic direction of the club anywhere. So multiple reports are out there on how the training ground isn't up to par anymore. So when they would have gotten ownership, Carrington would have been a world-class facility. It's far from that now. It needs a lot of renovation. And then you could see the countless amount of videos of how bad the Old Trafford is. It was leaking, rusty stadium. So they haven't invested in infrastructure. And given what's happening in the financial markets, they can't, right? Interest rates are in the roof right now. And then when you're not winning on the pitch, when you don't have a Sir Alex for a long period of time, it's very difficult. So most fans want them to go. I don't think there's a single fan that would say they should remain. And I think they should go. Now, the challenge now of the takeover is something else. To date, what we've seen publicly is that we're either going to get the ownership from the Sheikh from Qatar or from the Ineos group led by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, my take on those are that, one, I don't like state ownership. I don't think state ownership should be involved in any club. Sovereign wealth funds. People will point out that this is not a sovereign wealth fund and this is something separate, and this guy is a lifelong Manchester United fan. We'll believe that if we see it. And he seems to be giving all the right notes of not buying the club on debt, willing to make a lot of investment in the local area as well as the facility, and given the kind of support that Ten Hag would need. So people might like that because they understand the debt. I don't think the other owner, Ineos Group, can buy the club without debt. It would be farcical to think that. So I don't like those type of deals. I understand you have to buy with debt or do something around that. Here's what I think. Manchester United, because of its global stature, global brand, is capable of operating without the likes of a sovereign wealth owner or without the likes of a wealthy billionaire who will just give money. If all it needs for this club to be successful is to allow whatever ownership group to take the revenue that it makes and return it to the club, right? That's reinvest all of that turnover money. And I think they would be successful. United is one of the few clubs in world football that can do that. But if it's the Sheikh, it's going to be serious money. Is it money washing? I don't really know. Sometimes people say, you often think the grass is greener on the other side. I think in this case, anybody but the Glazers is greener for Manchester United fans. And we don't know if the Glazers will stick around. There's rumblings of that as well. There might be others willing to buy out parts of the Glazer ownership. So some reports have come out suggesting that Joel and Avram Glazer might want to retain control, but other members of the family who would have acquired ownership in Manchester United through Malcolm Glazer's death, they don't want any part of the club and they should sell, and maybe these guys want to stick around, and maybe with Ten Hag they could see an opportunity that glory days could come back. I actually don't know. I think that could also be them trying to raise the price up. The word on the street is anywhere from $5 to $6 billion in valuation. Is that really a true valuation? I don't really know. I don't think that's the case, but they want to make money on the club or continue to make money on the club. So I think they got to go, and they should go. I think if they find a way to get, say, a hedge fund or a group of investors, a consortium or somebody to buy out part of their family stake, and they can then reinvest some of that portion of the money back into the club, because for certain they won't reinvest all. I don't think they could manage the PR there. I think fans would probably riot. So they should sell the club. Who it goes to, it's not going to be something that everybody likes, right? I'm hesitant to say it can't be worse. I think from an investment standpoint into the club and its infrastructure and so on, it may not be worse. You may get other kinds of pushback in terms of whether media, PR, you may get claims of human rights or environmental issues and so on. So I don't think there's any clean break for Manchester United fans here or for Manchester United, the club, if they separate from the Glazers. Barring something like a fan ownership model, which won't happen, then it may be moving from one problems to the next. But I imagine that most fans would be okay if they're winning on the pitch. If you return to winning Premier League titles, returning to the Champions League and winning it, winning other trophies. A successful Manchester United, often people will not really look at some of the, I want to say, noise or the other factors surrounding the club that may not be desirable. But whatever happens, they should go. And let's hope that the new ownership will be a better ownership model. And then the club can continue to be restored to some semblance of a big club. What we've seen under Ten Hag so far suggests that he can return them to the top, but he will need investment. He's the right man to do it. And so I think I concur with most fans and say Glazer out.